I think it's the beginning of a really massive change in publishing, and that in 5 years' time we won't recognize the industry, and that the relationship between writers and authors will have to be completely redefined. I could actually, yeah, I'm flying to Winnipeg tomorrow and lecturing for a week at the University of Manitoba on that very topic. And a week. And I have 2 minutes. It's going to be big. Yeah, I think is that the advent of ebooks, and you got to realize ebooks are really a transition technology, right? Like at Insomniac Press, I produce ebooks, and as I was saying, before the panel started, is that whenever I'm making ebooks, I get the feeling that I'm writing radio plays for television, right? Is that we're not using the entire technology. And what's going on, I think, in the industry, just really breaking it down, is that what this will do is that the kind of financial, technological underpinnings of the entire industry are shifting. And fortunately, we're the last ones at the party and of what's going on. You see this, incredible changes going on in other cultural industries. And they've completely remade their industries. Like, obviously, one of the first industries to go through this was music. They did absolutely everything wrong going in, and they paid for it. The business is unrecognizable compared to what it was 10 years ago or 12 years ago. We're just starting on that path. The Kindle is nice. The iPad is better. And it's just the beginning. And it's really going to affect what publishers do, the actual core business, and also what writers do, because that relationship is changing dramatically. I think that the market, the readership is going to change as well, is that we're going to find that the readers are going to be a lot more demanding. And that, is that basically the readers, if they cannot have a book or some derivative of a book in the format that they want right now, they're going to forget that book and move on to something else. And so it's an incredible time of technological change, and that there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers, and there's going to be publishers going out of business, and there's going to be other ones that are going to be making tremendous amounts of money. But basically, we really haven't seen, I believe anyways, and I know not everyone agrees with me, but we really haven't seen this amount of change since Gutenberg, and so it's what's no, that's a mystery in and of itself, but it's an incredible time that we're just entering into, but realize what you learn today is going to be obsolete in 2 weeks, and you'll be laughing at yourself in a year for being naive. That's, and that cycle is going to increase, and everyone in the industry is feeling it to various degrees.
I think right now it's there's so much is in the paper in our publishing media. It's covered every day. Right now it's still only about 3 or 4% of the total sales, so it's still very small. I think we all assumed it would be young readers. It'd be a way to get those people who are in their teens, early 20s, who are so into technology. But what's surprising is that at the moment, most of those sales are actually 50 and above, and it's because they have the money to buy the device. So once those devices come down, then that'll make a difference. But the challenge for the industry is the concern is for the writers. There's a sort of resistance in the public. They say, I'm not going to pay $30 for that ebook. I don't have it, to hold. So the price is coming way down, but the writer has still spent their years writing the book, and so it's all a challenge. I have a Sony reader that I won because I wasn't going to spend $400 on it either, and it's wonderful. for work because I can bring home 40 unsolicited manuscripts on the weekend, and I have it in the car. I was looking to see if I had it here, one tiny little thing. But it also meant that when I was at work and was talking to her on the phone and got really excited and leaned like this, it broke. And so then I had like a hole in the screen about that big, and the batteries die on the subway, and you can't get it wet, and so it's not going to replace a book, So I don't think we need to feel like the sky is falling quite yet. For all those people who love reading a book, they still want to hold that book,
I think though, I think things are changing. Like, I mean, you see, for instance, in Japan, where you have books on the bestseller list that have never been printed. That's coming. Like, I mean, there is, like, there's a lot of really, really interesting theories of what works in this technology and what doesn't. Up until very recently, is that fiction really, really didn't work in this technology. Also, for a lot of some certain fiction readers, is that the reading is a very tactile experience, and that the feel of the paper, the turning of the pages, the smell of the inks and the binding, all very heady stuff. But it's interesting is that the technology as it is, right? For instance, the Kindle, it's a little bit better than books. It can do certain things that a book can't do. But for a technology to supplant another technology, it's got to be 5 times better, 1/5 the cost, and does your windows while you're waiting. We're not there yet, but we're getting a lot closer, and the stuff that you see coming down the pipe in terms of the technology is really quite astounding, and it will affect. It is affecting publishers and writers. Like, you see how like for instance, reference publishers have almost disappeared. And they used, all those people selling Britannica encyclopedias used to make lots of money, right, in one way or another. And they're gone. You're seeing a lot of, how it affects nonfiction is tremendous. And we're just at the beginning of this thing. And it's part of a larger, it's part of a much larger movement in terms of how technology allows us to connect with our culture. And we is that the writers and publishers have to find our way through these changing times. But there's a lot of opportunity, and there is a lot of danger in this. And fortunately, some of our related industries, like you think of newspapers and magazines, film and television, and music, have gone before us, and we can see a few years ahead what's coming. It won't be exactly the same, but it's going to be a tremendous change.